actually in another life, when gasoline was 19 cents a gallon.
This is a gorgeous car.
I didn't have one of these new. I got one of these. What it was is my father tended to get a new car every year, and my father said, well, you're 16, so I'll let you have this one, and I'll go get another one. So I had a heck of a lot of fun with this. But the problem was my vet leaked gas fumes all the time, just like the Corvair. It continually leaked gas fumes. So my mother said, well, I wouldn't ride it because it leaked fumes, so I'm not going to let my son ride it. So she made me get rid of the car. But I got a Stingray though, which is probably down.
Do you see any down there?
Yeah, which was a great car also. I mean, you can guess my mother took my Stingray away from me, which I always thought was funny. My mother felt the cars.
She probably wanted to drive it.
She took it and kept it.
Oh, you're too young to have one.
They were too dangerous for me.
But not too dangerous for her?
Too dangerous for her. I mean, my mother would burn rubber every time that she would get out from a stop with the Stingray. So, 63 Corvette. Stingray was sort of a car all unto itself. They were beautiful automobiles, but she couldn't carry anything with them. Well, the Stingray was a car that my mother did not take the family with her in.
It's the leave me alone, I'm having fun car.
That's right. We had a navy blue Stingray that had Stingray on it.
Oh.
So, and then everybody knew when she was coming, because we also. What happened was she had my father take the mufflers off and put cherry bomb mufflers on. So when she would be,
she wanted people to know she was coming.
Yeah, but this is from a person that thought that me driving sports cars was an abomination because I could get hurt. But that was all right, my mom thought that was all right. Actually, it was the last sports car my mother ever owned. Was that one, but I had a lot of fun with it. I got to drive it for about 3 months, and then she said
she adopted it.
Well, no, it was this way. I'm paying for the insurance on this car.
Even though you paid for the car.
Yeah, I'm paying for the insurance on this car. You drive the family car. So she took my Stingray, gave me the family car, and then said, "Oh, you have to drive your brothers and sisters around too." So I'm an adult, folks. I'm not a little kid. But I also come from a German American family, and the mother and father run the family. So when your mother says, "This is what you do it." So she also told me, the car that she wouldn't let me drive because she drove it all the time was overpriced when I bought it.
Of course.
Yeah. But it wasn't overpriced for me to be making the payments every month so that she could drive my car. But it was also like I was in college, actually, and she said, well, the family car, that's more of a respectable car for a college student to have. It's something to add on to the thing about the Stingray. It has nothing to do with my mother stealing my car. It has to do with the fact that eventually I would work on the TV series Stingray.
Oh, you did?
And of the people that worked on the series, I was the only one that had ever actually been in a Stingray before the show had ever started.
Wait, wow.
So
now this one looks...
That was something else to be added.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It reminds you of like a spaceship in a way.
Yeah. We want to go around to the back side and show everybody the thing where the great big ugly, sticker on the back for General Motors, but it says Corvette Stingray on the back, which set it apart from all the other Corvettes.
The other ones didn't say that on the back?
Well, no, the others just had like Corvette.
Oh.
But this said Stingray, so when you pulled in, and you wanted, blues. You didn't want any other color.
Why?
Because it was a car you drove at night. Blues didn't show up really well at night. And you also got to remember, I'm from the age where there was not a whole tremendous amount of street lights. But here we've got the big, that's the gas tank opening right there is where that ugly latch
That's
is.
the gas tank?
That's where you fuel the gas. Is that you lift that up, put your gas in. So because your trunk base, you have to, it does not have a regular trunk, you have to put your stuff in from the back side. But there it says Corvette Stingray. So there's a little bit more added things to this. So.
Look at this. It says Crossfire Injection. This is a 1982 Vet.
Okay, basically this was a design to get you a little bit more power. Like you needed power. Okay, we're looking at, that's all engine.
Gosh, look how sleek that one looks.
It is unbelievable.
I mean,
the Corvettes were always the class of the American sports car.
I'm looking at that from where the driver sits. It's like the tip of the car is what, 10 feet in front of you?
Yeah. Oh, so it's like driving a full-size automobile when you drive some models of the Corvette. But if you look next to it, you'll see why nobody bought this car.
You know, if I look at the two of them, I can see why.
Yeah, it's a Stingray, but it's a god-awful, ugly-looking Stingray.
Well, when did I mean, it looks like it's in the middle of a transformation.
Well, what it was that they basically tried to make the Stingray that everybody loved was the '67 model.
Okay, which one was the '67
That was
one?
the blue one we were looking at.
Okay, the one that looked like kind of like a spaceship.
That's the one I had. This unfortunately just looks more like, they're trying to Europeanize it. They wanted to make it look more like the Ferrari and the Maserati that were on sale at the time.
You know, I just look at it, just misses.
Yeah, it misses that color. People didn't like that color because you bought the Stingray so you could burn rubber, and that thing stuck out like a sore thumb with that color.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but here is the next model up.
Or this is a '68.
This was a '68. Look at you can see the styling difference between the '68 and the '67. 68 looks more European in design.
You mean that's the yellow one, the '75? Yeah. Or are you talking about that one over?
No, but see, this is the '68. This is the year next to the classic Stingray.
Oh.
This followed that. You know, they flagged your car. They took away, the things that made a Stingray what it was, they took away. And then what it was, a few years later, they tried to bring it back, but they brought it back in this style. Nobody liked this style for a Stingray. It's just like if you owned a classic 240Z.
Well, because you're looking at, here's a '68 right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're going to, this is a '54.
Yeah.
I mean, this reminds me of the Ford Thunderbird.
Yeah.
The new Ford Thunderbird.
The Thunderbird came after this, I think.
Yeah.
This actually reminds you more of a European race car.
Yeah, it does.
Of the time period. It's something you would have seen Sterling Martin. I mean, you'd seen Sterling Moss on the tracks in Europe driving a car like this.
Well, there's only 14 years difference between the two.
Yeah, but
wow.
14 years difference. But this is what 54.
This is a '54.
Europe would look like.
Okay.
This is '68 is what the cars would look like.
Wow.
So,
that's a big difference.
yeah. The newer the Corvette, the Corvette. I don't understand why we're following Europe. Maybe
What do you mean, as far as cars?
As far as sports cars are concerned.
That looks like a fun car, very patriotic.
Yeah, but it is still okay. They've done the flags on Corvettes for years because
right.
That's sort of the the checkered flag for starting off. But the newer the car you get, the more it looks like a European racing car. Like the older cars all represented a time period. The newer cars are still representing a time period. Instead of being their own car, the lighting system is European. The body design is European. At least the gas tank is on the sides now instead of in the back on it. But it's still the one thing that's never, okay, that's an anomaly to a Foremost thing.
Why is this one an anomaly?
Well,
because it's convertible.
This is when they started, they started putting what you could get into the trunk on them. It used to always be push everything in the back, but I think because this is a hardtop, this is a convertible. See, they had to have a place to put the top.
Oh.
So they give you a trunk to get into.
I can let you go.